Hey everybody, it's Hannah. I deadlifted 225 pounds today, and I've been working towards that for a while. That's the barbell plus two 45-pound plates on each side. And this is a red letter day for me. I only got singles, but I got 3 singles in sequence. And I'm celebrating by giving myself the luxury to do a little video and talk about strength training because I enjoy it so much. And it's done so much for me. But I wouldn't want to, I don't have a platform. I'm not any kind of trainer. I'm not a certified strength coach or anything. I'm just like a person who messes around with it, you know? So I wouldn't feel like I even really had the right to like share my thoughts about it if I hadn't accomplished at least some personal goals. My other lifts, so I do deadlift, I do squats, I do bench press, and I do shoulder press, and those are the things I do. My other lifts are like close to their goals. My goal is a 95-pound shoulder press, 135-pound bench press, 185-pound squat. I'm like closing in on those pretty fast, but the deadlift is the first one that I hit. So yeah, I'm kind of treating myself right now. Anyway, so I participate in a methodology that's called Starting Strength, and there's a guy named Mark Ripito who lives in Texas that started the first Starting Strength gym, and he's the first one who really, like, he himself was quite frustrated with the kind of bro science, like, status quo of, like, information about literally just, like, how to get stronger. And he's a former competitive power lifter and a post-advanced lifter himself, and has basically single-handedly, I mean, he's got lots of lieutenants and stuff like helping with his project now, but I mean, he himself was just like this force of nature who just spearheaded an entire methodology of how to get stronger for anyone, for men, for women, for young people, for old people, for people who've had injuries, for every kind of person. This is not at all directed towards bros, you know. Of course, we all love bros, but... And, you know, I really can't recommend it enough, and yet nobody is ever interested in it at all. I mean, obviously the people in Starting Strength are, but heavy barbell compound lifting, for me, is kind of something like, it's very similar to, like, Bitcoin, or like I'm vegan too, or like lots of things in my life where they create really good a really good process and really good results for me, like so much so that people compliment me on that thing, like, you know, I'm enjoying a degree of like vitality or aesthetics or freedom or abundance or something, you know, something that other people actually like notice and compliment me on, and I'm like, oh, it's because of this thing, and they're like, yeah, miss me with that, that sounds like fucking shit, like I have no interest in that. And so barbell lifting is one of these things. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I have to like sit down at my house and record a video just to like get to talk about it, because nobody wants to talk about this with me, you know, like I'm kind of lonely in it, and it's so interesting, and it's so fun, and it's so effective, and it fucking changes your whole life, and it creates not only physical strength but mental strength and stamina, and it translates into like just a radical like Pandora's box of like positive effects in your life that compound, you know, that are like exponential. So it's like, not only do you get stronger in this like linear, rational, like, you know, fashion that you can actually like work with it, it's not just like random, but it improves, you know, it improves your body, it improves your sleep, it improves your libido, it improves your appetite, it improves your mood. It's just like, if you get a heavy lift in every day, or whatever your programming is, like, you're much less, you know, stressed and anxious. Like it's like a lightning rod for all of this kind of like neurotic, ambient, restless energy that we have as humans, because we have free will. We're like blessed and cursed with free will, and we have these monkey minds that are chattering all the time, and we have all of this free floating restless energy and anxiety, you know, and we don't even really stop to think how much of that is like somatic, like how much of that is our body, our physical animal mammal body, like asking for engagement, you know? And there's no engagement like a heavy barbell lift. Like, it will put your fucking animal body to sleep. It's like, night night, like, you're rested now, and you don't have the snakes in your brain anymore, you know? And then if you go too long before another lift, then you start to get the snakes in your brain. But I mean, if you just kind of keep on it, you're like the chillest person. You're like the chillest person, you know? And that feels so good. So it's just like this wild ride of like incredibly positive, beneficial effects. And like nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear about it from me. I don't know. And, you know, I've asked myself often, like, why is that? It doesn't matter. You know, people are going to do what they're going to do. But anyway, this is my special day where I deadlifted 225. So I get to talk about what I like, which is starting strength, heavy barbell, compound lifting. So first of all, I am a literal truck driver. I am a literal fucking truck driver, and I have a travel job in a kind of like super weird industry that makes it really hard for, and I like, it's hard for everybody, you know, everybody's got stuff, like nobody has time to lift, you know what I mean? Like and legitimately, like we're completely torn apart by a pack of wolves all the time, like by design, because we're supposed to be fat and sick and poor and all of that, you know, so the fucking matrix can feed off of us, right? So it takes real work to just like carve out some kind of relationship with some kind of like physical exertion, right? And then all of the information that we're getting is like kind of a psyop. Sorry, like I don't know why 99% of people like who do manage to carve that out go straight towards something else, you know, but they do, and they're like, oh, I would never barbell lift because XY, like I have an injury, or I'm too old for that, or I don't want to get hurt, I'm not trying to get bulky, or like all the things that people say, and like they're just, you know, that's fine. I'm just saying it's like a freaking literal miracle. I don't know why it's so hard to give it a shot, you know, but it is for people. But I'm a truck driver, so if anybody if anybody gets to say like this doesn't like conveniently fit into my life, I feel like I get to say that, you know. It takes some like creativity for me to keep finding the opportunity. And thanks largely to the weird sub-niche industry I work in, which is like wildland fire, federal contracting, aviation fueling. It's like there is sometimes a gym around, and so I definitely hit it. So there could be a really deep dive discussion that would be very, very valuable on not just like what the lifts are, but like programming. And like I'm not the person to have that conversation with anybody, because as far as programming goes, I have so many unpredictable variables in my life and in my time and in my location and all of that, that I just have to, ever since I kind of stopped trying to do the programming the right way and switched to just being like, every day that I'm going to do one compound lift, like 3 sets of one compound lift. And then I'm going to do some back offs, you know, if I have the time. And then that's it. Like, and I'm just going to rotate around. So I'm like bench, squat, overhead press, deadlift, bench, squat, overhead press, deadlift. And I don't block in days off, because those days off are often, they just happen to me because of things that are out of my control, you know? So I can't talk to you about programming. I could certainly refer you to the wealth of completely free starting strength materials that are on YouTube, plus super, super entertaining commentary from the starting strength folks over there. Like you can basically, in YouTube, you can put starting strength and then like any kind of physical problem that you have, you know, like back problems, or 80 years old, or like former shoulder injury, or like any kind of like qualifier, and you're going to be able to find some content on there, because Ripito has been, you know, just putting out high quality content for decades now. So anyway, you're going to have to let me off the hook on talking about programming. I just do what I do, which is all I can do. And it's amazing that I can keep showing up and doing that. And I'm very proud of myself for that, you know. But in terms of the lifts themselves, so like what I've learned is that, I think we all kind of know, even if you've never really done barbell lifting, like, first of all, like natural human movement patterns, we don't have that many of them. Like, we're designed as humans to walk. We can outwalk like basically any animal on earth. We can outwalk them. We're designed to run to some extent, and then just kinetically, we're designed to like push things and pull things and like bend down and stand up. Like, right? Like, that's the vocabulary in terms of like force production. Like, that's the vocabulary of our human movements. So when you add a barbell and you're able to weight that barbell, I mean, you can add half a pound, even less than that, at a time to a barbell. Like, you can dial in extremely specific weights with a barbell. And I don't know why people always, like, even when they do get into strength training, they always want to go like kettlebell or like the free weights or something. And it's like, well, now you have that thing at the end of your arm, and it's, you're like, barbell lifting is like such a great way to like actually engage like our biggest like joints, which are surrounded by our biggest muscles, which the biggest one of all being like our hips, right? Our like whole hip glute thing. And then second of all, our shoulders. But to like you want to like get in there and like engage the interiority of your kinetic chain, and of your like your ability to produce force. And a barbell is an incredibly good way to do that. So again, I'm not really sure why people are always wanting to like avoid the barbell and like go for like other things, but they do. But back to pushing, pulling, and squatting, like barbell lifting, like these 4 lifts that I mentioned are basically just taking those natural, very natural human movements that not only can we do them, but they're kind of like all we can do. And then just adding weight to them. That's the whole, there you go. Now you have your PhD. Form, I think that everybody kind of gets that you probably shouldn't be lifting heavy or like training to lift heavy unless you can also cultivate good form, and like starting strength free materials are, a wealth of like exactly how to do that. But what I didn't really realize until I kind of got more involved with it, and by the way, I'm somebody who's like fixed my scoliosis. Like, I fixed my damn scoliosis that I've had well, I was diagnosed with it when I was 17, but I probably had it longer, where like one side was very overdeveloped, one side was underdeveloped. I was told by doctors and stuff to like never ever use my back. That's not a thing we can do. We can't not use our back, and I'm a commercial driver. I've been a commercial driver since 1999, like on and off, but like that's a really long time to be stressing my back out and not actually doing anything on the other side to like intelligently apply like positive stress to give it, the ability to like withstand the kind of just like normal life stressors. So ever since I started deadlifting and squatting, which I was expressly told not to do by subject matter experts, I have worked my way out of having scoliosis. And now the muscles along my spine are very, very well developed and equal, And again, I just deadlifted 225 today. I weigh 140. So I think that in itself is a testament to like what's possible for someone like me. And if I hadn't encountered some strong advocacy of strength training when I did, which I didn't even start till I was 42. I'm 49, and my engagement with it has been kind of haphazard because of different things, but it's like, that's when I started trying to figure this out against the advice of every medical professional I'd ever dealt with. That's when, it started to like completely reverse this whole scoliosis thing that I had going on. So anyway, it's not until, and I'm not going to make this too long, like I could really talk about this forever, but I need to save some for the next time, I guess. It's not until I started like really engaging, so what happens is like you're working with like either very light weights at first or just the barbell, possibly even a lighter version of a barbell. Like possibly you can't start with the 45-pound barbell, so you're at the 22 or whatever pound barbell, right? That's totally fine. Like where you start doesn't matter. the fact is, with a progressive overload kind of like methodology, you're just going to be adding little bits of weight at a time, and your body's going to be adapting, and it's the most magical thing that happens. So where you start doesn't matter, but generally what happens is, like, you start, you're working with really light weights. You're not actually straining like on a muscular level yet very much at all, because you're not ready to do that. Like, you're literally just having like a neurological experience, trying to like integrate all these different cues and like information that you're receiving about form, you know. And it kind of seems, a lot of it kind of seems like arbitrary or even counterintuitive. Like bench press. Like, I was just trying to bench press on my own, no methodology or help whatsoever, and I was never getting anywhere. And it wasn't until somebody came along and showed me the starting strength way to bench press that I started getting somewhere. But before the getting somewhere part, and again, I'm bench pressing like 130, like I'm bench pressing like damn near my own body weight now, which is incredible. Look at me, like, look at my skinny arms. Like, I'm an ectomorph, you know. But when when I was first like given the guidance and the cues and like set up to have the correct form for bench press, and I'm choosing this one because you would think it would be so simple. It's like, lay on the bench, unrack the bar, like up, down and up. That's it, right? Like, that's one. And I did, and I never got anywhere. I couldn't get stronger. Like, what, you know what I mean? So, like, deceptively simple. It's actually, there's a lot that goes into it. So it's like, get your body into an arch. You kind of have to think of yourself like a bow and arrow, you know, where there's that like arch that creates the tension, and like like you're really doing a lot with your feet. You wouldn't think that, but with bench press, you're really, really doing a lot with your feet. And your breath is like hugely important with all of these lifts. It's called a Valsalva maneuver, where, you know, we have long bones in our arms and we have long bones in our legs, but we don't have any long bones here. We have these hinky jinky vertebrae, you know. And so what we got to do is create a Valsalva maneuver, sort of like replicates the effect of like an exoskeleton, where you're like, and you create this like really, really tight column, you know, in order to like you don't, it's kind of like competitive marksmanship or something, where you don't want anything in your whole setup. Like, if you want accuracy, you don't want any like slop. Like, you want it all like super tight, like super tightened in, so that the recoil is the only thing, and even control that to have the best chance of getting that bullet down range to hit the target where you intended to, right? It's the same thing with lifting. Like, you don't want to be leaking force randomly on all these parts of your body. So like, you want to like stack your joints. Like, you want your wrist like over your elbow. You don't want, you know, like, there's things that they just make sense once you add a little bit more weight, but they don't necessarily make sense when you're just learning and you're at a very, very light weight. You're like, that seems hard, that seems random, that seems arbitrary, there's a lot to it. And so the adding more weight and then improving your form are like this mutually reinforcing cycle that just happens over and over. And once you finally get like a challenging weight on the bar, then you're like, okay, now I understand why I got to do it that way, because I got to do it that way, you know? And so going up in weight is really, really important. And the form is, as a methodology, is super important. And there's different methodologies out there, and not all of them, for even for compound lifting, not all of them are designed to take you from point A to point Z with putting on more weight, adding more weight, adding more weight. Like, you want to start off with the correct one right from the beginning, that is actually designed to be a load-bearing, stress-bearing kind of form. And that's what I kind of like, that's what surprised me, that I learned within my first couple of years of strength training, was that this has a lot more to do with like engineering than I ever realized. Like, the bar path is everything, and you're making your form is about making your body accommodate a straight bar path, because the bar is heavy enough. And if it gets out from you, or like it's like moving around, or it's having like a J hook, like all these different things, like now that bar is even heavier and you're not going to be able to pull it off. So making your body accommodate a straight bar path in any one of these maneuvers is actually what form is about. And if you think about it like a crane, you know, I like work in industrial settings, you know, so I think about stuff like this, like there's probably basically like one right way for a crane to like pick up the heaviest possible thing that that crane is rated for, right? Without like tipping over, like the base is heavy enough, but like I doubt that it's like crane operators are like, oh, you just kind of do it how you feel, or like there's a million different ways to like be a crane operator and move the heaviest thing. Like, no, I bet there's really just like one way because of physics. You know what I mean? If you will sign up for this little, I call it a predator experience, you know, because our bodies are really geared, as far as like our limbic system, they are geared to interpret like two kinds of threats. One of those threats is famine, and the other threat is predator. And if our and obviously in the modern world we have like a gazillion kinds of stressors happening to us all the time, but like our mammal bodies and our medulla oblongata is like, I don't know, is it a famine or is it a predator? Is it a famine or is it a predator? Like that's their two, like they have, it's like a toggle switch, you know? And so if our body, you know, with our cortisol levels and our just like ambient, like stress situations and everything we're in all the time, our bodies like predominantly think that we're in a famine, you know, and it doesn't matter how many calories we're getting. And we're probably like malnourished and like undernourished and like over calorified as well. But anyway, if our bodies think that we're up against a famine, then they're going to do everything they can, you know, and become insulin resistant, like hold on to the weight. They're like, hold on to the fat. Like we need the fat, you know, and you're going to have a really, really hard time getting your body to like you're not going to change your body's mind. It's just like, you can try not to go to sleep, but at a certain point, your body is going to like absolutely hijack the process, you know, and is like going to put you down. Like you will sleep. Like our bodies, they will, like they can like hijack the whole thing, you know, including our metabolism, including our hormones. So if your body thinks that it's in a famine, which it probably does, if you're not doing something that feels like a predator every now and then you're going to be fighting all that, you know. But if you will just like get under like as heavy of a barbell as you can, and like work through some pushing and pulling and squatting and bending over and picking it up, you know, just like a little bit every day or every day that you can, and keep adding that weight on. And it always feels scary. Like the work weight always feels scary because it, you know, because that's kind of where you need to be working at to drive that adaptation. It's like you switch that toggle switch, and now your body doesn't think it's a famine anymore. It thinks it's a predator. And it's like, drop the weight, become like a physical specimen. Like we need all the muscle, we need all the metabolism, like we need to go, you know, and it completely like changes your entire body composition, like from the inside out, to include metabolically. And that's something that is priceless and is really fun too, because then you don't, you know, like you can either spend the rest of your life like trying to lose weight and like counting calories and like worrying about what you eat and like dieting and doing treadmill shit, like all that kind of thing. Or you could like, this isn't just something you pick up, you know, you're not just going to like engage with this for like a week or two. And I think that's where people's hesitation is. It isn't fast and it isn't easy. I mean, like literally on the level of form, like this isn't something that you just pick up and then you're like, oh, I got it. I would say it's something more like jujitsu or martial arts or something like that. I've never done martial arts, but from what I understand, there's these different levels of belts, and you're going to be sparring with people that are more and more highly skilled as you yourself are becoming more highly skilled in order to go up, you know, and move up and advance. And so with the form and with barbell lifting, like it's the same thing, but the more skilled sparring opponents are just simply heavier weight and heavier weight and heavier weight. And at each point along the way, you can have your form like pretty much perfect at the weight that you were at, and then you move up and it's like, now things happen and you got to like get wrapped around those things, you know? So at every point along the way, you have this like perfect, instant feedback, information feedback mechanism for your understanding of that like engineering maneuver, you know, you're the crane and this is the I-beam that you're lifting, you know, you have perfect informational feedback about what's going on with that. And it's a practice. It's like a lifelong practice. Like it's the opposite of something that you can just like quickly pick up and then like do on autopilot. It's very intensive, it's very absorbing, it's very like mentally fascinating, and it's like an entire, you have to have like this entire ass like dialogue with yourself like when you go for your heavy work sets. I mean, this is not just a physical event, it's like an emotional event, it's a psychological event. It's like all this stuff happens all at the same time. And I like that. And I think everybody who engages with this form of strength training, like that's what we love about it. I could never imagine just going to a gym and like putting on headphones and like walking on the treadmill or whatever people do. Like I just couldn't, the isolation machines, like I just couldn't do it. Like it would be too boring. But I think that there's, on the other hand, for somebody to approach getting into this in the first place, that just feels like so much, you know. They're like, I just want to, you know, everybody's like, I just want to lose 10 pounds. Like, I'm just trying to lose some weight. Like, I'm not trying to take on a whole thing, you know. I just want to lose 10 pounds and I'm just going to try to like eat less and like do some more cardio. And it's like, you know, that's just the status quo. And that's why I'm here making a video, because this is like one of the only outlets that I've found that I get to talk about a thing that I really love. So I'm not going to make it too much longer. I do just want to say one more thing. We live in a world where, at least in the first world, where like literally everybody is trying to lose weight. Everyone is trying to lose weight. They're just trying to lose weight. That's it. That like everyone's trying to lose weight. Everyone I know is trying to lose weight. I dream of a world. I have a dream. I have a dream where no one tries to lose weight ever again. They try to get stronger. And the only reason for there to be a scale in the household is to know how much you weigh in order to be able to calculate the ratio of like at my body, like I said, I'm 140 and I deadlifted 225. Like what's that ratio so that I can feel stoked about it, you know? Like that's the purpose, to have a scale in your house. And as you increasingly, you know, all the things like you switch your body from like, famine mode into predator mode, and as you like start like adding more weight to the barbell and like figuring all of this out, it's like absolutely your body's going to improve aesthetically and in all kinds of ways, you know. So it's, I'm not saying I'm vain too, you know what I mean? Like I want my body to look good too, but I just think that there's something that's like upstream from literally everybody everywhere just trying to lose 10 pounds. You know what I'm saying? There's like something really important here. So, I think that everyone should just stop weighing themselves unless they intend to use that number to like calculate the ratio of how much they could push, pull, and squat, you know? Like this is, it's so insane. It's so insane to be, you know, like with our bodies, like basically we have skeletons. You can't do anything about your skeleton. That's it. Like you just got the skeleton you got, you know? And then we have our fat and then we have our muscle. And it would make the most sense to like manipulate muscle as a variable because, I mean, I'm talking about like aesthetics now. All right. I mean, and as Rip always says, it's like stronger people are generally more useful and harder to kill, you know? So it's like, there's all like, there's amazing like benefits to just being a stronger person. Like I was able to help a lady on the airplane like with a really heavy carry-on to get it down from the thing, and she asked the guy in line behind me to help her, and he fucked her off, and she was like an old grandma. She asked this like perfectly able-bodied young man who was on his phone if he could help her get her carry-on like down from the thing, and he just like he was like offended and just like looked at his phone even harder. And I was like, I can help with that. And I look really skinny and weak, I guess, or whatever. Like I had like long sleeves on, and I don't look like I would be a strong person. I'm an ectomorph again. And I was like, I'll fucking do that. And she was like, it's really heavy, honey. And, you know, and it was actually, I don't know if she had like gold bars in there or what, but like, I kind of hefted it. And then like, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely got this. And I like gently, safely got it down for her. And people in the airplane, like just in the area, were like clapping. They were like, that was amazing. Cause it really was heavy. But I was just like, there's no, there's no gift on earth like being able to do that for this random grandma, and this other guy wouldn't. I mean, I like to put on my clothes and have them fit too and everything, but like that was a really good feeling. That was a really good feeling to be like generally more useful in the world, which is something that we never talk about, you know? But let's see, what was I saying? Oh yeah, anyway, so I think it would make more sense, you know, we can't do anything about our skeleton. I think it would make more sense to actively work on the variable, the physical variable that is our musculature. Because I'll tell you this, muscular people look good fat, and they look good skinny, and they look good in the middle. People with a good musculature, it looks good no matter. So then the body fat percentage, that's just kind of a thing, you know. Muscular people look good regardless of their body fat percentage. People with underdeveloped musculature, like under muscled people, which I'm like the kid in Sixth Sense where I'm like, I see dead people like everywhere I go. Like once you start like working on strength, I'm like, I see under muscled people, like they're literally everywhere. There's fat under muscled people, there's skinny under muscled people, there's medium and under muscled people. Like everyone everywhere has been distracted from the importance of just like working on your musculature. I guess it sounds like I'm in a cult or something, right? I guess I am. I don't know. Anyway, so for some reason, after you remove the skeleton part, you have like a 50-50 chance, you know, like you're either going to work on your musculature or you're going to work on your fat. And like for everyone to be like, oh, I'm going to work on my fat. Like that's I'm going to hyper obsess. I'm going to get fucking tunnel vision about like what's going on with my fat and my fat percentage. And like my muscles, oh, I'm not going to do anything about that because I don't want to get bulky. This is what girls say. And I'm like, who have you even seen with your eyeballs that has a look that you don't like? A woman on the cover of like a literal bodybuilding magazine, like you saw that and you thought, I don't want to look like that. So like, it's just weird, you know, it's just weird. So I think not only in terms of being generally more useful and harder to kill, and like on the daily defeating the snakes in your brain and like expiating that restless monkey mind energy, and having better sleep and having better libido, you know, and having better appetite, having a better ass, you know, and just like feeling better and all those kinds of things, and aging better. I haven't even gotten into that, but just like the resilience to like injury and disease, and just like aging better. We don't get old and then we get weak. We get weak and then we get old. You know, like if you keep yourself strong, like physically strong, it's like a total game changer in terms of aging, you know. And I know that because I'm almost 50. It's a complete game changer. I know that's old to some people and that's young to other people, but I'm just saying, like, I don't look or feel like the average 50-year-old. And I, you know, have a couple things I assign that to, but like strength training, I will never stop doing this. I will do this until I die. I will do this until I die. Hopefully I died while I'm strength training. Anyway, so yeah, just in a world where everyone everywhere is trying to like get smaller, you know, they're like, I just want to be smaller. It's like, what about like be bigger, like take up more space, like grow those ratios, you know, the rest will take care of itself. And there's all kinds of body types, you know. Some people, they might end up getting chunky. Some people, they'll like look like a brick shit house, or like a unit, or, you know, like you don't really have any control actually over like how your body type is going to respond to becoming a stronger person. But I also think that who cares? Like, just like, I know it's easy for me to say because I'm an ectomorph and like muscle like looks good on me in terms of like feminine beauty standards and stuff. But like, I swear to God, like I could have a completely different body type and I would still like just become like the strongest, most functional, like healthy, happy human being that you can. I think this is an incredible practice, not only physically, but like spiritually and mentally. And then like your body type is just your body type. Like it's kind of crazy to be at war with your body type, you know? So that's like my, that's what I walk around in the world thinking, you know. I'm sure that like hairdressers, they walk around in the world and they just like see everybody's bad hair and it like makes them crazy. I walk around and I see people that are like very, very, very under muscled. They could just do they could just do a little, they could engage, you know, and they would experience like incredibly positive, but you know, they're not, or they're gonna do something else. They're gonna go, you know, sign up with a fitness trainer who also looks like he's never seen a gym in his life, and go through some motions and be plugged into a methodology that's like that. And I know I sound really judgy right now, but it's just, like, I feel like the solution to so much is so simple, and it does involve, you know, learning a whole thing. Like, you don't learn this overnight. Like, it really is, it really is a practice. But and it's one of, if not the most worth it, like, engagements of my time and energy that I've ever encountered in my life, you know. So I just wanted to say thanks again to Mark Ripito for being such an incredible mentor to so many people, and creating a body of knowledge that is just rich and limitless. I mean, I've interfaced with like a mere fraction of it, and it's given me so much. I mean, I don't have scoliosis anymore. Like, there isn't any other kind of methodology that was out there that would have like done this for me, you know? So anyway, okay, that's it. I know that's probably way longer than you wanted, but if you made it through, congratulations. And this is my celebration for deadlifting 225. Okay, hope you have a good day.